National Instructional Media Institute presents online courses, Principles of Teaching, Micro Teaching Practical Assignment 1.
So, we have studied what are the components involved in the micro teaching, and then we have gone through these objectives, and I hope that you might have understood the components of micro teaching and the skills involved while presenting a micro teaching class. Now, you can visualize some of the examples of micro teaching presentation done by our trainees.
Last class we have seen about types of drill and their functions. So all of you know about now types of drill and drilling purpose. What are the different types of drill bits? Durgesh, you tell.
Now you have observed the example of micro teaching. In that, the trainee first he started what is the last class, he reviewed. Then immediately he has gone to the topic of a drill bit. He asked the question to the trainee, what is a drill bit? That is wrong. First you should make a review of the last subject, and before that you can ask the question modifiedly, how we can make a drill, what is the device we can use for making a drill, that is better. So that it can be corrected before telling the title. Then question, he asked the question to the trainee, but he has not given sufficient time to the trainee to think. The question and the name also continued by the question. So, ask the question, give some time, let them think, then nominate the name and get the answer. And the answer by the trainee cannot be heard by all the trainees of the class. So, as an instructor, you should repeat the correct answer, or you should repeat the same answer so that all the trainees can hear it, and that is also can be avoided. Then another point, the explanation of the drill, that is to be clear. So, it is not so correct. You have to give your explanation in a correct way, and then he stated written the parts of the drill bit. While writing the parts of the drill bit, in the side is seeing the chart. That is not correct. Instead of that, he can take this lesson plan, he has written the parts of the drill bit. So, by seeing the lesson plan, he can write it on the board. That is correct, but not by seeing for every time the chart and writing. So, that can be avoided. So, these are the mistakes he has committed while taking the micro teaching class about the drill bit.
Good morning, students. The last class we are studying about the instruments used for the purpose of taking linear measurements. The last class we are studying about tape. What are the different types of tapes we are used? Dharmendra, please.
Linear tape, inward tape, and metric tape and steel tape.
Okay, good. Sit down. And which is the most accurate tape we are using? Pooja, please.
Inward tape.
Inward tape. Yes, very good. Correct. Good. See. And now today we are studying about the another linear instrument used for taking linear measurement is chain. In later, the most used instrument is chain, because it can be take the measurement in directly from the field. It is the simplest instrument used for taking linear measurement. Here there is two types of chains. The first one is metric chain and another one is non-metric chain. Metric chain means we are taking the measurements in metric system. That means in meter or in centimeter. In case of non-metric chains, we are taking the measurements in metric system, that means in foot, yard.
Now, this second example about chain using in civil. Now, he has started the class nicely and he has stated the title also nicely, but he has written the types of chain, metric chain and non-metric chain. Metric chain and non-metric chain. He has said it is a metric chain, the other thing is said as a non-metric chain. But here he has committed the mistake that he has not mentioned the unit of metric and non-metric. Next, he has corrected and he has said meter, centimeter, and only he has said as a yard and yard 2 times, and that can be corrected as yard, feet and inches. So, this is the mistake what he has committed. And even in this example also, when he is asked the question, he asked the question and stating the name of the trainee without giving any time for thinking and answering. So, the method of asking the question in the class, first you throw the question in the class, wait for some moment, let the trainees think, and then you nominate the name, you call by name, let him answer. The answer may be correct, the answer may not be also correct. But when he said the answer correct, the answer should be repeated by the instructor so that the whole class will hear the answer. If the answer is not correct, correct the answer and say the correct answer to hold the class and encourage the trainee also. So, these are the defects which I found in his micro teaching presentation. Now, you have seen fuel injecting system micro teaching example.
Now, I will ask you one question before going to the presentation. What is the full form of MPFI system? Sunil, will tell me? Yes, multi-point fuel injection system. So, MPFI stands for multi-point fuel injection system, wherein the fuel is injected into individual cylinders based on the commands from the ECM. The ECM is an electronic control device which collects the information from various sensors, that is from air temperature sensor, air flow sensor, boost pressure sensor, throttle position sensor, accelerator pedal position sensor and fuel pressure sensor.
Now, he has started very nicely the class, he arranged the class very nicely. It is good. The way before you are taking the class, you should arrange the trainees according to their height so that all can see the board correctly. Let us see what the mistake he has committed. He has showed the PowerPoint and he also asked the question. Every trainee, they are committing the mistake by asking the question. You should throw the question, wait for some time and then ask the name of the trainee, let him answer the question. If the question is correct, the answer is correct, you can repeat the answer so that the whole class will hear the answer. That is the one mistake. The other one, in the PowerPoint projection, he has used the laser. This laser is not correctly placed on the point where you want to show. Instead of that, you can use pointer. The pointer you can fix correctly on the chart so that the trainees can observe correctly. These are the two mistakes what he has committed in the example of micro teaching.
Hope you all understand this lesson. We'll see you on the next class. Thank you.